Welcome back to Team Out of the Tank. This is Doug here. I have been on a sort of a hiatus, and I'm not gonna give you an excuse. I'm not gonna lie. I just been enjoying my free time. I don't have a job anymore. I quit on my own terms. So I just been chilling, killing, doing nothing but enjoying life. But we're gonna talk about some new cards in the core 2021. I'm not gonna go over what's been released, what are good cards. I'm just gonna go over cards that caught my eye that are gonna impact the format because I don't know if you've seen, but Alpine Watchdog, beautiful looking card, dude. If that was a real dog, I would pay to own him. Like 2 2 for 2 with vigilance. That's a perfect card right there. But no, just jokes aside, that's a good card. But let's start off with Scavenging Ooze. I love the card. I played with it in the format way back in the days. That was when I first got introduced to Magic. I didn't keep playing after that because I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. But anyways, I love Scavenging Ooze. That was the first rare that I pulled in my pack. Well, in my first three packs, that I actually enjoyed playing. He just kept getting bigger and bigger, and I feel like he's going to change the format, especially because there's a lot of cards that you don't want your opponent to have in the graveyard. Um, for example, Euro, Cauldron, Familiar. Because if your opponent has, let's just say, two foods and a Cauldron Familiar in the grave, if you have two mana, you can literally make sure that that cat doesn't come back by just keeping him at base so he doesn't sack it. And once he does run out of foods, pay the one mana, get it off the board. Like get it out the graveyard. So it's not going to keep coming back. And yours just keeps getting bigger and bigger, whether you hit Cauldron Familiar or other cards. Sorry, it has to hit creature cards. So you hit their what do you call it? Escaped creatures like um oh my Mayhem Devil, Wolf Strider, Goose, all that stuff. So you don't have to hit like Cat if you wanted to get bigger. You can hit other stuff. Which once again, I am excited about Scavenging Ooze. There is a lot of removal, but then again, Green is getting a lot of protection for that once Teferi leaves the format, obviously, so that you can play against your opponents doing that. Uh, Up next, we got Garuk's Harbinger. Now, the reason he caught my eye is because, yes, he's your generic rare card that adds you your Planeswalker, but Garuk's Harbinger is the first time I've seen that he is viable that doesn't have to have an exact Garuk play like Planeswalker. Because usually it's a play this card, do something stupid, or just play this card, and then you get this certain Planeswalker, which is that structured deck one, the pre-built deck one, which sucks. I mean, it's good, but it's not as good as the other ones. But this one says whenever it deals combat damage to the player or planeswalker, look at that many cards from the top of your library. I don't know why Luca didn't do that. You may reveal a creature card or Garuk from your planeswalker from among them and put them into your hand. So you can add a creature card or a Garuk planeswalker. So it doesn't have to be that that bad planeswalker. It can be a Garuk planeswalker, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It also has hexproof from black, which not hexproof from black, but like it's a 4/3. So if it was like a 5 drop cost, it'd be like but it's a 3 drop, guys. It's a 3 drop with great stats at 4/3, hexproof from black. So if they try to kill it, obviously not with board wipes, but if they try to kill it, it doesn't get killed by them. So even if it's like split cards, like what do you call it? Mystify, I think. I think it's the 3 drop, destroys target creature enchantment, or even Oath of Kaya doesn't hit it. And once again, he adds a creature or a Garuk, so you can just tag it on with trample with an enchantment, or just make sure he doesn't get blocked with. You can go Gruel, so you have some like stomps, some shocks to get rid of creatures and just swing with it. And I think this is one of the first times that I've seen a playable creature that adds your stupid planeswalker or your good planeswalker, and it doesn't just do that. So that's a good card. You guys should keep an eye out. Idol of Endurance. When I saw Crokies, I think it's his name, Crookies. The Twitch streamer. When he reviewed the card, he said it was okay, and I think it's undervalued there. I think this is gonna be like a format changing card because if your opponent goes Grafdigger's Cage, I go out of endurance. I get all of my graveyard card back, and they're exiled, so it goes around. I think it goes around Grafdigger's Cage, and then you can cast it until your end of turn. Right now, the thing about it is that it doesn't have to just be in that certain situation. So let's just say you go out of endurance, you get your Risen Reef back, you get your Euros back if you didn't have enough to sack. Now you can play it again, draw a card, play another land, and gain 3 life. You can also get what do you call it on turn 5? You can go or turn 6 out of endurance. Pay the 2 mana, tap it. It's an artifact, so it comes in without the summoning sickness. So you get the ability right away. You can bring in lures, pay 1 extra mana, and get an Othakaya from your graveyard. Like that right there is to me broken because now that with the companion changing effects, you can literally main deck Lurrus in your deck without having to pay the 3 mana to add it to your hand. And once again, in a deck where you can recur this effect, where um, you can go out of endurance, bring back Lurrus, so even if he did get killed, I don't have to depend on Call of the Death Dwellers because guess what? Out of endurance brings back my creatures in a way to my hand so I can play them again. And Lurrus just has to worry about getting enchantments. So for example, he can get other enchantments like the dead weight or the one time the 2 drop -3/-3. It's too many cards to keep track of. But I think this is a really good card. I think it's going to change the format, especially for a lot of low cost decks. It can also be used in Bant. You can get your Euros out of the way, your Risen Reefs. Just it's a really good card. It's an artifact for a 3 drop that literally lets you play your creatures from your graveyard without like going around the graveyard hate. Next, we got Heroic Intervention. Once Teferi leaves, I love this card for the fact that it has won me games before. Back in Kaladesh was around, that's when I first started like officially playing Magic. Um, I played Heroic Intervention a lot, and my goodness, man, it's like a kiss from an angel, dude. You just swim with everything. They try to do something, you're like Heroic Intervention, and it's like, man, it's like you walk out of the room with the biggest balls. You know what I'm saying? For you ladies, same thing. Just inside you guys. I think I'll cut that part out. But it's a really good card. It gives you and your permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible. So if they try to target them, nah. They try to kill them with a board wipe, nah. The only thing it sucks for now is because of Teferi. But once Teferi leaves, this card is going to skyrocket. Not in price, but in popularity because it is a 2 drop instant. 2 drop. The one that we got before was a stupid 5 drop. That was a split card, which nobody played it in the Selesnya because it was 5 drop. Like, not to mention it said untap all your creatures. Like, all my creatures have to be attacking in order for me to get a good benefit of this card. But yeah, that's my opinion on Heroic Intervention. Really good card once the fairy leaves. Um, Malefic Scythe. I am kind of iffy about it because I'm trying to find the deck you can put it in. I was thinking of the Cauldron of Familiar deck, like Mono Black or Rakdos, but it's too much. Like the deck is already good as it is. You can maybe put one of these in, but like when you see it, is it gonna really help you with all the graveyard hate, with all the removal? You know, Not to mention, you can put it in a control deck, like Esper Control, where you make a lot of tokens, and it's gonna get to the point where if your opponent doesn't get rid of your Malefic Scythe, either through a kill or Teferi, you can just keep reoccurring this because one, if you keep spamming tokens, they're gonna try to board wipe, which benefits Malefic Scythe. Two, if they keep trying to kill your creature, it's gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, so they're gonna have to really target your Malefic Scythe. So that's what I'm trying to think. Like I'm trying to find a good place. I think it's a good card. It might go good in a Jund deck. Not sacrifice, but Jund creatures like mid range. But once again, like you have to have enough creatures to keep sacking, to get the effect, or keep dying to get the effect, which means you have to have more creatures to like replace them, which it kind of doesn't do. It just makes them bigger. Um, but once again, like I feel like it's going to be format defining once we find a deck for it, which I think is going to be coming in really quickly because we got Obsessive Stitcher. Um, you tap it to draw a card, then discard a card, which is good. She's a Demir card, so you can add green, make it soul tie creatures, or you can make it Grixis with Croxa. Just draw a card, discard a card. Just picture Croxa, so he's in the graveyard now. He can come back. You can pay 4 mana, sacrifice Obsessive Stitcher, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Which in Soul Tie there's a lot of good cards like what do you call it, Cavalier of Thorns if you haven't exiled. Um, you got Yorion. I would say Euro, but depending on the situation, it's still gonna die because he's not coming in through his escape effect. But Obsessive Stitcher is a really good card because, especially in Demir, you draw a card and discard a card, so you're like going through your deck for resources. Um, with the amount of low cost counters, you can like literally start pitching out your high cost cards, keep your low cost counters, even your lands. So you're like at 5 lands. Obsessive Stitcher just helps you dig through your deck for your planeswalker that you need or your counter card that you need. So don't throw this card away just yet. Her -4, I mean her pay for tap can bring back decent creatures, especially since we're getting more and more revealed that are getting a bit better and better. But just keep your eye on this card. Stitchers seem to have an impact on standard. So when I first saw this card, I thought this was gonna put Mono Blue Temple back on the map, and then I was like, oh no, wait, Curious Obsession is gone, and a big key part in that was Spell Pierce because counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2, and this one says instant or sorcery. So if they play artifact or enchantments, they get to stay. But the thing about it is that it is increased by 1. So if they, try to spell pierce you, you can go miscast, and now they don't have the 3 mana because they spent the 3 mana on something, But I thought of that, right? But then I was like, no, wait, they still have like Curious Obsession is gone, so but they still have the draw card, which is Staggering Insight, and I think Azorius Control or Azorius Temple is gonna be tier 1, close to tier 0, because they have been getting a lot of support. And where is it? Thanks to Miscast and this one, and then with the Sky Sovereign Cat that they got last format, I mean this current set, they're gonna be tier 1 because whenever another creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, this one gets +1/+1. The other one has for every flyer on the for every flying I think cat you have on the board, it gets +1/+1, which I think it pairs well with this, or for every flyer. But it's just the deck is getting so much support with so much like they already have access to Dovin's Veto. They can go Empyrean Eagle, which +1/+1 all of them. It's their what do you call it? It's their Lord Commander. Um, you also got great draw cards, which is blue. So you got Thirst for Meaning, uh, Birds of Meaning. I think that's that one. The one where like if you have a flying creature, you pay 2 mana instead of 3, and you draw 2 cards, which is amazing. Uh, you also have that 7 drop that gives all your flying creatures indestructible, which, like I said, I think this is gonna take it into tier 0, tier close to tier 0 deck, because there's gonna be a little bit of inconsistencies as you have to draw the right amount of creatures and or the right amount of counters. But once again, they're getting a lot, a lot of support with miscast, negates, mystical disputes, a lot of draw power, a lot of good creatures that like buff each other up, and I think it's gonna become a tier 0 deck. And I'm just calling it now. It's not gonna be hard to beat. It's just gonna be really annoying because you're gonna be like, all right, here's my kill card. They're gonna be like miscast. All right, well I'm gonna mystical dispute your miscast. All right, miscast. All right, mystical dispute. He's gonna be like mystical dispute, and you're like, oh well, I can't pay for anything, so you just lost the counter war because of miscast and mystical disputes. So this is a dumb card, dude. And then like Imperial Eagle, like what is it, a turn 3? So if your opponent goes Elspeth Conquers Death on turn 5, literally hit the curve, you can be like, oh miscast. I mean not miscast, mystical dispute, just counter it. Negate for 2 mana. Like there's gonna be so many like counters and draw cards and options that they can do. And not to mention they got the Spectral Sailor, so like I pay for mana, I draw cards. So even if I didn't draw my draw card, I have a creature that lets me draw cards. That's a flying that gets +1/+1 for the Imperial Eagle. So yeah, this is a deck that you guys should watch out for. But this is just my thoughts and insights on the upcoming format. Um, Obviously, I still think control decks are gonna win for the fact that you're getting Liliana, Teferi. Um, I don't see a lot of like what do you call it? Where's that artifact? This one. Everyone is hyping this one out. Chromatic Orrery. Orrery, spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Add 5 colorless. You pay 5 mana, you tap it, draw cards for each color among permanents you control. Everyone is hyping this up. But one thing I see is that it's a turn 7. So unless you ramp, which obviously, some decks can be like, alright, I see what you're ramping up to. And even if you do get it on there, like I don't see an infinite combo in standard. So next turn, just Elspeth conquers death. It's gone. Like I don't understand. Like everyone's excited. Like that's how I see everything now. You know, Spark Hunter Massacre, Solemn Simulacrum, Ugin. Like Elspeth conquers death. Buy, have fun. Next turn, all your stuff is gonna cost two more unless you play creature cards. Like that's just how I feel about all this. Like draw cards and discard a card, right? You can play it as it has flash, right? Target creature you don't control phases out, all right? Take the next two extra turns. All right, that's even if you get -10. But if you go -3 and when you cast it, he's just gonna die. So you're gonna probably go +1. Well then, all right, Elspeth conquers death. Bye. You know, same thing with Bosric Cat, and that's what I'm saying. Like Elspeth, I see everything as being hit by Elspeth conquers death. Unless you play this with haste, unless you have Euro, which if I haven't Euroed, I mean Elspeth conquers death, your Perforos, I mean your Elder Gargroth, like I'm gonna just hit that with another Elspeth conquers death. Like that's just how I see everything. That's just me. And even if you don't run an 80 card deck, you can still go Yorion in your main deck so that you can still cast it from your hand. Like, so you get your cards better and faster. Like, when an opponent attacks with two or more creatures, when an opponent casts their second spell each turn. All right, you went turn 4 Mangara, turn 5 Elspeth Conquers Death. He's gone. I don't have to cast two cards. That's it. You wasted your turn 4. Like, that's just how I see the format because of Elspeth Conquers Death. Like, that card is so stupid, dude. Like, protection from demons and dragons, but it's still gonna die to Elspeth Conquers Death. Like, have fun with that. That's why I like Scavenging Ooze. Manticore over here, not Manticore, what do you call it? That Alpine Watchdog, it's a 2-drop. Like, anything that's under 3, so literally 2 and 1s, is what I'm looking at. That's gonna, in a way, impact the format. When it enters battlefield, put a +1 on each counter on each of up to 2 other targets you control. Okay, Shadow the Sky, bye. Like, I think Control is still going to dominate this format until Elspeth Conquers leave, and obviously when Teferi leaves, because Teferi just lets you stop playing your cards. But they're reprinting this again. I don't know why. We just got it in Theros, and I don't think Theros is rotating out. Theros is going to be until the next turn. This is a good one for the fact that it's a sorcery and you can pair with an enchantment, but once again, that enchantment is a 3-drop, which can get hit by Elspeth Conquers Death. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on this upcoming format. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. We'll discuss about it. We are posting up some of the what do you call it, new cards on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. We're gonna put the link down below so you guys can come join us on Facebook. I put that literally this is gonna change the format right here for the fact that it's so cheap. Like it literally hits any instant or sorcery. Mystical Dispute was kind of limited. Like I can turn 2, have 2 Mystical Disputes ready, but my opponent can go light up the stage and that's it. I can't stop that. This literally, you light up the stage, I'm gonna just miscast. Light up the stage again, I'm just miscast. Like it's so in a way broken, because it's so cheap and you pay so much. It's 3 for just instants and sorceries. They're putting so much emphasis for you guys to play enchantments and artifacts. But if they're over 3 or more converted mana cost, Elspeth Conquers Death just hits them. So that's why I think this is such a great card because the format is going to revolve around Elspeth Conquers Death. And people are going to be like, oh, well, you only have 4 in there. No, 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 no. I can main deck 3 Urions with 1 in my companion. I can main deck, a bunch of cards that send them back to my hand. And it's insane with how much you can keep recurring your enchantments. But, what do you call it? Yeah, that's just my take. Uh, I actually like this card when I read it. Because you can pay 3 mana, it fights another target. And whenever he's dealt damage, it deals damage to target opponent. So you can just be like, I'm gonna fight your 8/8. You deal 8 damage to you. But it's just a funny dumb card. But yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. My take on M21. I do like in a way the way that they're going, but it's just what we have right now. It's super toxic. It's like you're trying to move into a new apartment, right? And you're like, man, that's a new apartment. It's like a really good 3 bedrooms, a good kitchen, a good garage, And then you come back home and you're like, we got so much crap here. We got literally so much crap. If we were to move into there, we'd be like overstuffed. We'd be hoarders. We'd be hoarders at that point, you know? And that's how I feel like how it is. Like we're looking at what's to come, but we got so much crap right now. It just looks like crap once you move there. But that's just my opinion. You know, I'm a little bit of a positive and a negative kind of guy. So if you were to show me a cup, I'd be like, it's half empty and half full. I'll just be like, it's in the middle. You know, that's just me. But yeah, once again, hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you guys like watching the videos. If you do, click the like button below. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you very much for watching, and it's good to see you guys again.